So I'm going to be doing the recording on and talk about the last day of FallCon, which I just attended last weekend. Now, FallCon on the last day on the Sunday, it went from 9 to 5. This is also the day that I volunteered the most. I volunteered from 11:30 to 5. So I didn't get to play tons and tons, but I did get a few games in. First thing in the morning, I got to say, we were all feeling exhausted having those two other full days, and then went early in the morning and then went till late at night, and then I was staying at my sister's, who lives in Calgary, and then her pillows are like paper thin, so it would wake me up a couple of and then at home I have like the big memory foam pillow, so it was a struggle to stay asleep with those. But so Sunday morning on day 3, we're all sitting at the table, kind of staring at each other, like, "Oh my god!" So we decided to play Color Addict, which was like this one will wake us up. So, and it's an interesting game. So with this one, you get some cards in your hand, and you pick up up to 3 at a time, and if you can't play, you can draw another one, but you normally keep 3 in your hand at a time. And if you'll notice, like, you have the one card that says blue in brown, and there's a yellow ink spot behind it. So when you play this one, you could play it if the card underneath either says brown or the words are in brown, or if it says blue or the words are in blue, then you could play this one. The yellow ink spot is just there to mess you up, and it will mess you up. And it's like a speed game. So you play a card and be like, okay, well, this one says pink and it's in blue. So then you could actually play this blue card, but just trying to figure out what you can play when, and it's a speed game. You're trying to get rid of all of your cards, and you're looking. The first round, I was like, oh my god, wait for me. So it was a little hectic, but it was a neat, interesting game. After that, we played Illusion, which is a little bit slower pace. And it's another kind of puzzle color game. With this one here is you get an arrow that you flip over. So in this picture here, we had the yellow arrow. And you pull a card, and you got to put it in the lineup to go from the least amount of yellow on the card to the most amount of yellow on the card. And on the back of those cards, it has a percentage of how much color is on the card for each colors. So you're placing the cards, trying to maintain the order. And then on your turn, you either add another card, or you call if you think that there's a mistake. And then you'll start flipping over. And if there is a mistake and you called it, then you get to keep that arrow card as a point. If you called a mistake and there wasn't a mistake, then that arrow card goes to the previous player. It's interesting and puzzly. And then just because the way that the image is put together kind of makes it really interesting. And that one was neat. Then I had a friend who was starting to play Bärenpark, so I decided to join them. This was my second time playing this game ever. And basically it's a polyomino game. So you have all these Tetris shape that you're trying to fit on these, in your little tableau in your park. And depending on what you cover, which piece you'll get coming next. So you put this thing, then once you cover one, it'll give you like the next part of your park. When you fill the whole thing completely and you don't fill the hole, then you put a statue over top of the hole, and then that's going to give you point as well. Some pieces are worth points, some are worth more points, but they're awkward shapes, so it's kind of tricky to fit them in. It was neat. It's not my favorite game, honestly. Like I probably won't be hunting this one down to add to my collection. The patchwork kind of gives me that similar feel. Now this one you can play more players. It's neat, but it's okay for me. And then that's when I started my volunteer shift. So the first thing that I was volunteering for is FallCon invited big brother and big sister of the Calgary area to attend FallCon. So we had a bunch of kids and their volunteer come. And so we kind of all met up in the lobby, and I had a little cocktail table set up there. So we started with a game of Happy Salmon. Happy Salmon is it's a high energy game. It's super simple. It's funny. So it's fun one to play. I had a kid that didn't want to play, which is perfectly fine. I said, no worries, just watch. It's really entertaining and fun to watch as well. So with the Happy Salmon, you have 4 possible action. So pound it, and you just go ahead and pound it. So basically you'll have a card, and it'll, if you have like, you have your whole deck of cards, and there's a couple of these actions in there. I think it's like 8 to 12 cards. So you'll have your cards, and you flip the one over, and if it's pounded, you're like, okay, and you're trying to find somebody to do the pound it with. When you do the pound it, you discard the card and you flip the next one. And then if it's high five, you put your hand up, high five anybody. So you find somebody to do high five, and then you put the card away. Then you flip the next one. Switcheroo is like, okay, switcheroo, okay, you. So then you run around the table, then you go to each other's spot, then you discard your card. And the Happy Salmon Shake, you're gonna go and I don't know if you can see it. It's ridiculous. It's just like a floppy fish. But it's funny. So you do the Happy Salmon Shake, and then you can discard that card. And the first person to get rid of all of their card is the winner. This was a great icebreaker for them too. And then we ended up playing this one a couple of times. And then we went in the main area, and then we ended up playing King of Tokyo. King of Tokyo is another one that, like, it'll play up to 6 players, so it was great. We had 2 games going because we had like 5 and 5, I believe. So it just kind of worked out great that way. And with King of Tokyo, it's a super simple game. So everybody is a monster. You have your dice. When you roll a claw, you, like, the first person to roll a claw goes into Tokyo. But when you're in Tokyo and you roll claws, you attack all the other players that are not in Tokyo. If you're outside of Tokyo and you roll the claws, then you attack whichever monster is in Tokyo. Now, when the monster in Tokyo takes damage, they have the option of staying there or getting out. Now, if they get out, the person that attacked them has to go in. Now, the benefit of staying in Tokyo is every time you go in Tokyo, you get 1 victory point. And then when you start your turn in Tokyo, you get 2 victory points. However, when you're in Tokyo, you cannot heal. So as you take hits and everybody's hitting you when you're in Tokyo, you can't get hearts to bring your health back up. So you want to get out, roll some hearts, and kind of heal yourself a little bit. If you roll the lightning bolt, that actually gives you some of those little green cubes that are energy cubes, which is the currency in the game for purchasing cards. And then the different cards all have different abilities or different things you can do. Some will be like, okay, you can do this and you'll get more victory points, or you can steal something from another player. Like, there's all sorts of different things that you can do. It'll also give you kind of different dice combination you can roll. You can also roll the numbers. So if you roll 3 threes, let's say, that will give you 3 victory points. Now, if you roll 4 threes, that'll give you 3 plus 1 victory point, so you would actually get 4. In order to win the game, you either want to be the last monster standing or reach 21 victory points. This one is another one that just went over so well. They loved it. So they played it, and then right away it's like, okay, well, you're done if you want to do something. And then, nope, we want to play this again. So I was like, okay, let's set it up again. So it went over really well. Afterwards, they kind of say, we did like a tour, showed them where the library was, showed them the open gaming area and how that worked. We had the bingo cards kind of going. So if you played a 2-player game, you got a sticker. If you played like attending FallCon, gave you a sticker. If you played with a new attendee to FallCon, you got a sticker. If you thanked a volunteer, you got a sticker. So there's a bunch of different ways of getting stickers. And then at the end, each sticker is going to be an entry for winning a pass for the next year's FallCon. So then they kind of collected their stickers on their bingo card and then showed them around the event. And then that was great. And after that, I volunteered in the open gaming area again to kind of help people with game rules, and I took tons of pictures. And I keep saying I took tons of pictures, and I haven't actually put any of the pictures other than the games that I've played. But on my social media, all the pictures are on there as well of all the different games that have been played that I took a picture of. So you can definitely go and look at that there. Then I went home and I took a picture of my game haul. So I've showed you yesterday the video of the auction and what I bought in the auction, but I had purchased other games as well. So this is what I ended up with. So I had arranged to get Funkoverse, both Marvel and Jurassic Park. So that was picked up that weekend. I also, what else did I get that was picked up that weekend? Oh, Liar's Dice was picked up that weekend. I also purchased Secret Hitler. Secret Hitler was actually played that weekend, and it was hilarious. They had 5 kids or 5 people playing, and then by the time I kind of came around again, there were like up to 10 people playing. Like everybody was watching, and I walked by, and then one kid was saying, "He's like, I just told you though, I'm not Hitler," and then I was like, "Yeah, but that's what Hitler would say." So it was hilarious just to watch him play. Um, I got How to Rob a Bank. I picked up that weekend as well. I also got a game called Transcontinental, which the publisher and the designer was there. And then he had like, so I got the neoprene mat for it. I got the die cast trains for it as well to kind of pimp up my game a little bit. And I'm super excited for it. And it kind of taught like it's a game about the railroads of being built in Canada, from what I understand. He was actually there teaching the game for anybody who was interested in learning it, and unfortunately, I didn't get an opportunity to take him up on that. But that's exciting, anyways, because I do have my copy. I also bought Too Many Bones. Now, my friend Duncan was actually had it at Melcon for the flea market at Melcon, and he was like, "It didn't sell," and I hummed and hawed, and I was like, "Ooh." And I was moving. I wasn't gonna be able to play it anyway, so I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna bother. And then so FallCon was coming up, and I was like, he's gonna sell this game. So I reached out to him, was like, "Did you sell it yet?" And he said, "No." And I was like, "Let me think on it." But this game is amazing. It comes with 144 different dice. Each player gets their own neoprene mats with like the cutouts portion in there. The cards all like have like a plastic cover, like they're plastic cards. Like this game's production is just out of this world. So I remember when I saw Duncan's at Malcon, I was like, I kind of really want this. So I ended up picking it up this weekend. So I think I ended up getting 20 games total that weekend. So now keep in mind I have that 5x5 that was almost completely empty. So somebody's got to fill it, right? And that's it for FallCon. It was a blast. I loved every second of it. I cannot wait to do it again next year. It was so nice to be back. Because FallCon 33 was a no-go. FallCon 34 ended up being an online event, so this was the first time back. And just seeing everybody, like you build up these friendships that you don't, like you, and then just to see everybody, and it's such a pleasant and positive atmosphere. It was great. So I had a blast at FallCon, and I cannot wait for FallCon 36 now. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Mel's_boardgame_room. On Facebook, my Facebook page is Mel and Friends Board Game Room. I do have a podcast called The Board Game Specialist with Carla that I do with my friend Carla. Actually, we're going to be doing here our top 9 games played at FallCon. So if you want to know about that, definitely come and give us a listen. And then on YouTube, my YouTube channel is Mel's Board Game Room. So be sure to go and check out the social media and see all of the hundreds of pictures of all the amazing games being played at FallCon that I just couldn't share on this video. Bye, everybody.